Today, why I'm here is that my name, as said, is Triin Uustalu. I have worked and led different startups for 20 plus years. I have done startups which have gone to the global scale. So I'm here to talk about the innovations and talk about the startups and how to fund them, as they are like one of the opportunities you can do how to build your business or set up your business if you are interested of that. And as said already, is anyone is interested to reach out later, then free to do that in LinkedIn. I am always there, so happy to chat if someone has anything like they want to do on one-on-one questions. But yes, so maybe let's start from there. That what is a startup? So the simple definition to it is that startups are companies which are focused to solve a peak problems innovatively. That very often it is thought about the startup that they are all about the coding and they are all about the technology, but in reality there are startups which work with hardware. There are startups which work with physical products. It's more about the question of innovation and what makes difference between a small business versus a startup is that startups usually are expected to scale exponentially. So how to think about it? So big words, but what does it actually mean is that when you come up with your business idea and you think it is possible to take it to a global scale, that it is not something that you can do only in your local area, but you are able to do it in other countries and other areas, then that means scaling. That you don't need to have that many people extra added to your team, but you can take the product itself to many different countries. So that makes the difference between the startup and that. Because yes, we have so many myths about the startup, and I think that's why I always am very happy to talk about it. That it's not only about the young people, especially young males sitting in a garage building an AI technology, that anyone can actually do a startup these days, especially these days where there is so much tooling available that you don't need to be actually technical to do a startup. And one more thing is that startups are not only an urban things. You can build a startup with a remote work basically from anywhere. I am myself based in Estonia, in Tallinn, but I have team members in Malta, in Lithuania, in UK, and that is the joy of technology currently, that you can have those reach out to different countries and you can have different people who work with you. So where you live personally is not an obstacle that much anymore for building a startup. We have the freedom to build technology if you have a very good internet connection. That is the key, though, to do that these days. And so who builds actually startups? Because we need to look that to understand then how the startups are actually fundable. So when it comes to startups, then the very important thing is to have a team. It's more about the team than the actual business idea. Then, of course, every business starts from some kind of hypothesis that this is the kind of thing we can do to make it actually a revenue generating business. But for startups, because it is all about the innovation, and with innovation, it's a journey where you can, the product you initially started to build will become something different. Technology changes, for example, with the adoption of AI, the new opportunities comes. So, but what is the key is to have a very good team. So usually the initial team is usually a technical person and someone who is from the business side. If those two sides come together, then that is a winning formula. And more than about the technical background these days, it is what is needed is the curiosity. I am myself not a developer, never learned an engineering. I have always been from the business and product side, but thanks to the AI, I am able to code web pages these days. And if we think more about this, then exactly this curiosity opens up many new doors to all the businesses. So I hope that with this technology adoption, more and more people are able to start doing this kind of technology businesses, and it opens up a new horizon to everyone, because those who were not able to do it before but have maybe very good domain expertise are able to build new businesses. And when you are an expert in your field, it can be a rural experience, then this is always an asset. because you know better than anyone else the problems that are associated with that kind of living conditions or with that kind of vertical of business. So now we come to the actual the core of this presentation, which is all like about the fundability. So people always who are not in the startup scene thinks that they see in the movies how two guys with the hoodies walk to the people in the investment banking and ask for money. That is part of it, but in reality, the investment journey can be very different too. So to be able to fundraise or find money for your business through any kind of avenue, what you need to have first is clear problem and solution. You don't need to have in detail yet from the technical point of view how you build that solution, but you need to show from the day one what is the big problem that you are solving and how you are doing it differently than someone else. And where sometimes it is exactly from the technical point of view when we're talking about like very core deep technology things, but it can also be that you have a different operational system, or you are looking differently how to monetize that problem that no one else has done before. So innovation comes from different sources, and so the solution comes, but the clear problem needs to be there. The second thing is the potential to scale. So you need to be able to explain in few sentences how you can take it from your home office to basically to other countries, other regions, other places where people can also use. Web stores are very good example. Anybody can run a web store, but you can sell to anyone thousands of miles away from your home. So that's good. And when we talk about the early startups, then of course, when we are already talking about the established startups, then it's all about the actual numbers that they are able to generate, the tractions, the users. But in the beginning, it's the strong founder story, which usually makes you fundable or not fundable. So if you have the passion and you are able to show the passion for the product you are building, then that is usually the one that opens doors, because this is what is looked for when it comes to both venture capital or angel investments, that people who are building is not doing it just for the sake of money, but they are actually passionate about solving a problem. And that shows from your interaction with any kind of funding source. And so how you can actually fund if you're building a startup, there are different options out there. First one is bootstrapping, which means that you can use your personal savings to start small and then grow as you are walking. It becomes more and more available business model, as said, because the initial cost of building a technology had decreased significantly over the last years. And it's all because of the AI technology and other tooling that is available. Then there are local and also European Union grants and competitions. There are, I think, startup competitions happening constantly in different regions. If you are looking up for them, then there are pitching competitions, but there is also an accelerators. If you have never done a startup or technology business, I highly recommend people to join those accelerators, because you learn how to build a business, how to build a technology through like a small, like 2 to 3 month period. And it opens up the doors a lot for you. But already to be able to get grants and competition, exactly, you need to have the things we discussed before, which is you need to be able to explain in few sentences what the problem is you're solving, how you are different than others, and how you are able to scale. And then there is venture capital investment, which can be from the funds or angel investors who are working more like not as an office, but as a people who are passionate about the technology. And when you're going after any type of funding, then have resilience, because very often when you hear no, it's not that only your like people take it that your business idea was not good, but very often it is your business idea was good, but it didn't match with the accelerator, or it didn't match with the focus of the investor. Because how they are set up as a company is that they usually have very clear investment theses, that they only invest, for example, in impact, or they invest in early stage to companies which have at least one woman in their management board, or they are only for the e-com type of businesses. So it's more about the matching yourself than taking the no as a no for your business. And that understanding that it's not reflection of you or your business, that it's the key is to find the good match, is how to get started, is to do a very thorough research. Luckily these days, like ChatGPT and especially their deep research is very helpful on those things. So in startup worlds, they say like when you go to fundraising, have at least like 100 funds listed out for you as an options. So you go after it with understanding that exactly finding that perfect match at the perfect time takes time. So don't take like 5 no's is already no to a business idea. You have to have the resilience, and that's why the very good research helps you to already cater those things. And then prepare a clear pitch. That's it. Say in few sentences, and then test drive it with your friends and family. Do they understand what you're doing? And networking is always the key. Try to go to events. There are online events like this one. Then there is always also in-person events. So starting to go those events and joining different groups and networking opens up a lot of like connections to both fundraising, but also to people who can help to be your mentor or help you with technology point of view. So I highly encourage, as said, you don't need to be technical to build a startup. You don't need to live in London or Berlin to do a startup. Anybody can do it these days. You don't have to be perfect. No startupper can say they're perfect. You just learn on the journey where you are going. And think about your unique strengths. And very often the domain expertise is something which is the make it or break it thing in startups. Like if you know something about your current life or your current vertical or the way you're living, which you can see that is something that is not only unique to you, but is something that is can be taken as a business because it's something relevant to all the other businesses, other people around the world, then just go after it. I think it really matters. And networking is important, and then learning, because there is no one is an expert from technology point of view anymore, because the new technologies are rolled to live every day. Let's be honest, the fight with the new technology and ongoing. So it's just adaptation and going there and going after that helps.